5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The admin gave us a countdown into the game, so I couldn't do that with a straight face. That was too good. I was giggling to myself as the lobby started, but as you can see, we've got a draft underway. Game 2 of Vici Gaming against Avalon Club is about to kick off. Whew.
To be fair, that's one of the things that they could have technically just taken from Warcraft 3, you know? The whole countdown. It's just fun.
It's fun. Fun for who?
I don't know. For people.
People who like counting down from 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's wrong with you? I somehow got myself into a tangle here, and I don't know how. Oh, there we go. You know when wires look like they've knotted themselves and are untangleable, then you just pull and they untangle? It's just
yes.
Oh, magic.
Yes.
I just did that. I'm like sat here
way too often to
for
me.
like 30 seconds, like how do I get this bit of cable over this bit? And then I just pull it, and it's like, oh, right, well, I'm an idiot. Yes, draft underway. Game 1, we saw Vici Gaming struggle a little bit in the laning phase, but they really did just execute at one single point in the game, destroyed their opponents. Avalon did not have any real recourse to come back from what they were hit by. The truck was Paparazzi's troll that fed a couple of times, then all of a sudden miraculously had farm. This time around, is there anything you would remedy as Avalon? Like drafting wise, they seemed solid. Lanes, they seemed solid. Like, was it just mid-game decision making?
I think it's mid-game decision making, but I think you can remedy that by just drafting something much more simpler, because the draft, it wasn't necessarily bad by any means. It's just, I think, much more difficult to execute than Vici Gaming's draft. And if you're playing against a team that is more seasoned than you, I think you want to go with something that is very straightforward. Even if it's so straightforward that even like a team below you could probably would know what to do against you. Just to have something solid where you know it just comes down to execution more so than decision making. Because if you just have something that, all right, let's just group out, we push, or just, we rely on split push, or we just, 4 protect 1 or whatever, it's so straightforward, you just know what to do, and it's difficult to mess it up, and it more comes down to whether or not the opponent is just going to outclass you. But I think the last game, it was just really difficult for them to execute their own lineup. I mean, what was really their game plan going into the mid game and going into the late game? I mean, you saw from the item build, right, with the Troll Warlord, him going for the Battle Fury, it just showed that they wanted to, all right, maybe weather the storm from the mid game a little bit, and then just take it to the late game and rely on the dual core of the Monkey King and Venomancer to carry you. This is not really a plan against the Death Prophet. So I don't know. I think just going for something more straightforward, maybe. Just have, I mean, the laning stage was solid, like you mentioned, but just going for something more, group up and push together. Yeah. I think that's the most simple thing I could think of.
A bit of 5-man, a bit of Pugna action maybe, get some Nature's Prophet going, something along those lines. The other way you could look at this is, go for the kind of pick and play approach, where you look for a sneaky little pick off. Nyx Assassin gives you some opportunity to do that with the vision you gain from his Vendetta, being able to play so aggressively. And the play you can make with a Veno is that you can go and push towers down, create that little bunker of wards, pressure into towers, and you do have that nice little ability to find a pick-off, convert into objectives. And, thinking back at it, I feel there was a bigger turning point in the game than the bottom one. Like, the bottom one was very clear, like, we've picked off the Veno, we're going to push bot tier 3, force buybacks, and that was, like, the winning point. But I feel like the turning point, kind of reflecting on it, do you remember the smoke? I can't remember exactly what time, but it was like 22 minutes in, something like that, where the Dire smoked, their lanes were like at the river, and they smoked towards the, northwestern Radiant Ancients, and they fought around there, where they found like a pick-off on a Kunkka.
Right.
And they smoked there, but after that pick-off, they immediately had to go Monkey top lane, Veno mid lane, Nightstalker Sanking bot lane. They had to go and push their lanes all the way back out, because Vici had, shoved them, one wave extra, and pushed them across. So they'd gone for the pick and play, they've gone for that pick off, found Kunkka, but they weren't able to convert into any towers because Vici had made sure that all the waves were out, and that's when they lost a lot of momentum. And it's one of those plays where you feel like you're doing something good, or you're desperate to go and make something happen, but it's inevitable that nothing will come from it because the Kunkka will always respawn. Yeah, I think that was like a pretty big deciding factor as well.
Yeah, definitely. And they not only did they lose momentum, they also actually lost map control, because afterwards, because the global was down, Vici Gaming just pushed. They just, what did they really, or what did Avalon really have to do, or what could Avalon really do against the Death Prophet push? Yeah. And I don't know, it's just, it definitely in moments like that, maybe even also the Roshan fight is definitely a big one to look at because they traded very unfavorably. They gave away Roshan Aegis for like 3 kills, and they only got what the troll, which at that point wasn't even worth getting it because he was pretty farmed and he didn't. I mean, yeah, he's pretty farmed, but he had no gold to lose pretty much. So I don't know, definitely a lot of key moments there, and I think that is why you want something that's much more straightforward to execute, maybe very simple in a sense, and going for something like Bad Rider Nyx Assassin, it reminds me a little bit of what they did in the last game with the Sand King Night Stalker, a bit of aggressive laning potential, and having the Venomancer just as like a solid fallback because it is one of their sort of key heroes. If you pretty much look at any of the past games, Venomancer's either been against them or they just pick it in the first phase.
It's definitely very clear that Avalon likes to play the vision game, though, right? Previously, Veno Night Stalker, where they had Plague Wards plus the darkness, the flying over the trees. Monkey King even as well, I guess, jumping on the trees. But now you've got Nyx and Veno and Bat Rider. You've got the vision, you've got the tools and heroes to kind of capitalize on the vision that you're gaining across the map or in key areas. You're able to find these pickoffs and maybe turn them into something bigger, but Vici, they answer back after the Lich and Clockwork, good, strong laning heroes with a Weaver, that Lincoln's carrier, who's not going to be too phased by the Veno, but might struggle against the Nyx depending on how well they can play. Now Avalon with their 4th pick. They need some physical damage dealer. They need someone who can really jump in on the Bat Lasso. And if you catch someone with the Nyx Vendetta stun, with a Blink Lasso, you need someone who has, really high kind of alpha damage. You come in, you burst them down, and likely it's going to be that safe lane hero, right? So Sven, possibility.
Yeah, I was thinking of Sven as well. If they didn't have the Venomancer, I was thinking maybe TA. I think that could work very nicely as well. But they definitely, yeah, like you said, they definitely need a lot of physical damage. So ideally, something that doesn't get bursted down either. You want something that survives like a Clockwork initiation, and that does it.
Cool.
That definitely survives the Clockwork initiation. Very sustainable in lane as well. So if they do have something aggressive, which knowing 11 and knowing Lon M, they'll likely have something aggressive. That could potentially survive there as well. I would love to see Avalon picking up a defensive hero as well, because last game they didn't have a defensive hero at all, and it definitely hurt them, because Venomancer as a hero can be very squishy, especially with the skill build, with the item build that he went for, with the Hurricane Pike, with the Maelstrom. So going for something, not necessarily the Oracle, which we saw from Vici Gaming last game, but maybe something like the Oracle, just to protect them in the safe lane, or just in the mid game in general.
Out comes the Void. I think one thing you're scared of now as Vici Gaming, though, is this Weaver. I mentioned the Lincolns, and it's going to be good against one spell, but this game you might even just consider going, BKB as your 2nd or 3rd item, try and get that up as quickly as possible. We did see a few little kind of funky builds from China on the old Weaver, the Diffusal Rush, where we saw kind of Treads Aqua Diffusal. Not sure if Solar Crest works this game. Dragonlance may be a good go-to to tank up early, but I think likely the Weaver here goes, Treads Diffusal, BKB, something along those lines, just to deal with the Morphling, Nyx, Bat, Magic. I guess even all 4 of them. The magic damage is just absolutely ridiculous. But the Void gives them the ability to reset. Lots of damage going into it from Swarm, from the Lich ulti as well. Maybe they could do with a little bit more. A mid lane hero that can pump in some damage like an OD, who's very good against the Morphling in the mid game. Could suffer a bit against the Venomancer though, which is scary. And there's a Nyx on
well, in the Nyx Assassin.
But
yeah,
I feel like you can always pick OD into Nyx. Like Nyx, quote unquote, counters OD. But if you're able to get enough momentum, or if you're able to, catch Nyx in the chrono, there's so many ways around it that I don't think there's like a one-to-one comparison that you can just always count out the OD. But is that going to be a Paparazzi Invoker?
It very likely is. I know that Ori is technically the mid laner, but Paparazzi just loves Invokers so much that even in IG Vitality, he would most of the time play it. So I'd be surprised if this wasn't the Paparazzi Invoker. No offense to Ori, but Paparazzi is just the Invoker. If you had to make maybe a top, I wouldn't necessarily put him top 5 just yet, but if you had to pick like a top 10 of Invokers in the world, Paparazzi would probably be on that list. So
who's your top 5 then? Out of interest.
Sumail, Miracle, Weehaw, maybe SEC. I think that's no. I think putting Weehaw might actually. Oh no, I think that's fair. It's difficult, dude. It's very difficult.
It is very hard.
It's very difficult.
Because where's Dendi? Are we talking all time?
Right.
Where's...
No, that's actually a good point.
Hey.
If we're talking all time, then he probably had to be.
Hey, where's Synderen? If we're talking all time, where's Synderen invoked? Hey, you can't laugh. He
no,
was...
you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Was it 2013 DreamHack Winter or whatever it was with MTW?
2012 was the winter. No, I mean the one summer versus Navi.
Was it summer against Navi? Okay.
2012 summer, just before the TI.
Because it was around that time he was still playing mid. I know that on that team. Wait, was it on that team he was playing mid? Because then they had all the French guys.
It was.
Yeah, okay, so I did get it right. Because after that was when they played with the French lads and they had like Funzy, Windranger, Lone Druid. They had Sokshka, Tinker or whatever.
No, wait.
Have I got this reversed? Was it?
No. MTW was with the Frenchies, but he still played mid because it was Kebab and Mad support. It was Funzy and Sokshka carry offlane depending on the heroes, and then was Synderen mid.
What interesting times we used to have.
Very interesting times.
Well,
I'm glad we've moved on.
Yes.
As fun as it may have been, I'm glad we moved on to the times that we're in today. You know.
I mean, back then we'd literally have Tinker, Lone Druid, Invoker every game. Tinker and Lone Druid would try and farm and win the game, and then Invoker would cast Tornado MP on them and slow them down as much as he could.
Pretty much.
That was pretty much how we used to play the game. What is that now? 4 years, 4.5, 5 years ago? Many moons ago.
5 years ago. 5.5 years. No, let's say 5 years and like 3 months.
Yeah.
DreamHack Summer was like June or something.
Quite some time. Right. Puck was the final pick. Dreamon's going to be playing that mid, so they've shifted the Veno up to the safe lane. No?
Offlane.
Offlane.
Oh, it's a support Veno. Kylan is their support. It's a support Veno. Bait it.
Ha.
Yeah.
That's
I like this. It's I mean, you know, it comes back to what we said in the first game, right? During the first draft, you know, they have so many versatile heroes that could play technically anywhere, and Venomancer can be played as anything, and even as a support, you can go back to the jungle, farm up, you can just be a nuisance in the lane to zone out the offlaner. It's not bad.
Very annoying as a Void to deal with it as well, because as a Void you like being nuked heavily, then you time walk all the damage off. Veno is just going to punch you and punch you and punch you with Poison Sting, and you're never going to be able to time walk effectively.
By the way, it is an Ori Invoker. I'm very surprised.
Cool.
You know, again, Paparazzi, even in IG Vitality, would often rotate to the mid lane just to play Invoker. Maybe it is just because, whatever his name is, Sakata just didn't feel comfortable playing Invoker as much as Paparazzi did, and, you know, maybe that's it.
Cool. So Paparazzi on the Weaver then?
Yes.
And then Lanam Clockwork, or you've mentioned on the Invoker. So it's going to be the offlane Void there. And they've switched these lanes around, so they're actually putting the Bat in the 1v1 against Void, and they're playing aggressively again. Avalon find the Weaver, but Paparazzi's juking around. Nice attempt there at the Rune Steal. Or the Rune Reclaim, I guess. It's a steal there from the Radiant team as they put Morphling, Nyx, Veno in this aggro tri-lane. And VG Gaming, once again, they're kind of left scratching their heads going, are you guys really doing this to us? Are you seriously? Just come on, fight us. Fight us in the lanes that we want, not the ones that you want. But, you know, it shows kind of good adaptation to the game.
I like this a lot. I think the Bat Rider would probably do well in any 1v1 lane. Like, if it's up against a Weaver or Venom or Void, he would probably do well. So having this configuration, I think, works well into their favor.
Man, there's action happening everywhere. There's like a 1v1 between Nyx and Clockwork, a 1v1 between Puck and Invoker. There was a 1v1 between like Lich and Veno, and then Weaver pops in and says hello. Have they shifted heroes around? Void is bot lane
Morphling just TP bottom.
Away, and yeah, you're right. Morphling has returned to the safe lane.
I'm curious. They see this Void like minutes ago, and or a minute ago. I'm surprised why they're only now switching it. Did they just suddenly decide I'm not feeling it, or?
I think it was because the Clockwork and Lich were down here, so there was a possibility of like.
Yes.
No. So the thing is, what Morphling wants to do is he wants to be on the lane that Lich is not on.
That's true.
That's literally
true.
Morphling's plan right now. Is where is Lich? I want to be on the opposite side of the map to Lich right now. So
That's actually very true.
He's shifted bottom lane.
Lich TP's bottom.
Guess who TP's down here? Oh, how tragic. Mid lane, how's this? Hanging out, 10 and 2, 10 and 1, even farm between the Puck and the Invoker as Nyx and Clockwork have just been battling it out. Top lane, Paparazzi shoved back, but Weaver should be able to deal with the Bat Rider reasonably well. And here is why the Morphling doesn't want to be against the Lich. No HP left.
I think they should have just left the lanes as they were, because now I feel like that they're in a disadvantage, because suddenly the Void can farm and they can't really contest this too well, because, I don't know, the Morphling is just taking a lot of harass, and I felt like their lane configuration, where they were 2 versus 2 on the top lane, went into the favor of the Radiant.
That's freaking bizarre, honestly. Oh well. Paparazzi is going to be relatively happy with this. What's he at now? 9 and 4. But with Shikuchi and a full magic wand, he's going to be just fine in this top lane. Just needs to start throwing the swarm out a little bit here on the bat. 4 napalm stacks up on him, but he'll just shimmy away there with his lovely Shikuchi. Let them all wear off. There we go. Back to 1. Reset. This is an aggressive Firefly with a swarm on you. Bat Rider might just die here. Stick charges in the chase forward. Paparazzi might have just found himself a kill, and, well, one more punch will do it. That's Bat Rider gone. First blood goes the way of the Weaver. But that's a pretty big misplay by the Bat. You know, it's a fine margin. You can see what he was doing. It could have been 5 stacks. It maybe would have been fast enough for him to get there without the reset.
Well, lane Puck already uses Orb. Might just be dead. He's dead. Also misplay.
Is not there in time. 2 misplays, 2 kills. The Dire capitalizing very, very swiftly.
You know, Puck tried to be aggressive, used the orb to harass and get a last hit, and then Lana was just like, hey, yeah, that's a kill. That's a kill, let's just move in. And even on top of the enemy hill as well. It was a bit of a, I don't know, very risky play, but hopefully this bottom lane doesn't work too well for the Radiant either, because there's a Lich here. So the lanes right now are just not working for them.
Yeah, Puck is always very afraid of that backstab. Does have a ward on the Dire side of the river there, up on the little cliff, which is going to expire in about a minute. But Clockwork has been playing so much and hanging back so much in these kind of areas back here where he can just kind of swing on in as Morphling finds a kill on the Lich, which is all on me. I do miss out on that one. I'm so obsessed with Lanham's Clockwork, just roaming in onto this Puck non-stop.
And to be fair, this is something that, you know, we just have to look out for, because Lanham on these heroes, he can make so much happen. I mean, we've seen it last game from the Kunkka as well, and he's an excellent Clockwork player as well, so this is definitely something to look out for. And you know, he's just threatening him so much with his own bottle now as well.
Yeah. And this here is why the Bat Rider loses the lane against the Weaver. You pretty much just get run out. Sticky napalm's never going to stick to the target. Shikuchi allows for such quick escape. And Paparazzi's literally just been running at the bat non-stop, just throwing Swarm, throwing Shikuchi, right-clicking, making sure the Bat Rider gets very few CS and is forced back out of XP range. And they're even looking to come in for a kill here. Illusion Runes from Lanham. Give me some of those big dick Lanham body blocks. Come on. Show me the money.
And Paparazzi already pushing out the wave, making sure they can dive underneath this tower, and nope, they're going to go for it.
Well, Battery Assault's there. With the Firefly, he buys a bit of space. But he shouldn't have the time to escape with that swarm on him. Turns back with another sticky napalm, but the stun from Nyx, it holds Clockwork in under tower, but the Bat Rider has died, and Lanham has boots just to kind of waddle away. There's no mana on the Nyx, so he's not really going to be punished either. And then this is a catapult wave coming into tier 1. It's free damage for the Weaver.
This is so well played from Vici Gaming, and you know, this roaming Clockwork is doing so much as well, because of the bottle, by the way. You know, because obviously Invoker doesn't go for the bottle, but Clockwork is just perfect rune control, because he's a roamer after all. So this is just very well played from Vici Gaming. Yeah, sure, they did lose the Lich earlier bottom lane, but in the grand scheme of things, they're still keeping the farm on Morphling low. They're winning the safe lane, and Invoker is also just, no one necessarily say dominating this the mid lane, considering, you know, there's not that big of a difference in terms of CS, but still, he's also winning this lane. So Vici Gaming effectively winning 3 lanes.
Yeah. When the fact that Invoker is going to get himself double null Midas pre 10 minutes against the Puck Nyx, it's pretty freaking good. I would say dominate, to be honest. I would go there.
Yeah, let's go there.
Another kill there. Like Lanham has made, he's made over 1,000 gold from his team now. I've been checking these fight recaps, and every time he's made between 250 and 300 gold, and he's
Dreamon has used
basically ganked 4 times and got a ton of gold. Void gets a bash on the Veno bot lane. The Gale is thrown, and Morphling has level 1 waveform. 1-1-2. It's the build that he's gone for. They block in the Veno. That's an easy kill. Lich is getting pummeled here with an adaptive strike. He can cancel the TP and he will get the trade. So that's what the 1-1-3 now. 1-1-3. That's what that's for. Not maxing waveform. Just going to go and try and tank himself up so he doesn't die. Which is a real possibility here as Void just keeps running at him. Time Walk ready again. Sunstrike. Oh, they nearly baited it. They nearly.
He missed the Dream Coil.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. He didn't he? Just little bubbles in the trees.
Coil. Oh my god, that's a TP in from the Puck with a DD rune, and he misses the Dream Call, misses the kill, and it's just a lot of waste of time. Yeah, poor Lich. Nobody expects the, level 3 Adaptive Strike? I mean, I can't fault him for just TPing out there. If I'm the Lich, I also think, yeah, that's a free TP, but no, it's not.
Huh? Clever Morphling. I don't think I've ever seen this build outside of offlane or support Morphlings though, where they've gone for like max strength and then into adaptive strike. But it's going to give him the survivability he needs against the Lich, against the Void, who are so heavily, forwardly aggressive.
Oh no, the Morphling waveformed into the clockwork. He tried to be greedy for the rune. Can he get the kill?
He's not winning this fight, right?
He has another waveform.
I mean, he gets the kill. Oh god, is he gonna? No, he can't.
Yep.
Good TV from Paparazzi.
That's a killing spree as well for Paparazzi.
Morphling was getting it on, honestly, wasn't he now?
Yeah, he was.
Well, they kill off one of the bottom lane as well. Veno is found.
Oh, Puck again. He used an orb aggressively.
What?
That's a ganking Paparazzi Weaver. I mean, he did TP for the Morphling kill, and he saw the opportunity for mid. Great. Yeah, that's the right question. I don't know, Puck is just playing way too aggressive in this lane, trying to go for these, farming and harassing orbs, which you can't really afford to do when when you're that deep on the enemy side as well. I mean, he was almost across the river, so I don't know.
Yeah. The big struggle here is, I feel, going to be their Nyx Assassin. So much throughout the draft, there's a first pick Nyx, and we've seen a lot of Nyxes in the 4 role. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But when your Nyx is your primary form of information gathering, scouting, kill potential in the mid game, you need this guy to hit level 6 at a reasonable time. And right now, he's level 3.5, closing in on level 4, sure. But he hasn't found the kills he needs, like Lanham's Clockwork has. He hasn't found the ganks or rotations. He's not secured any lanes, and it's not his fault. He is a Nyx in this really warped world where he just cannot do a damn thing. As bottom lane, they use the Chrono and kill the Morphling, and I've really got to get on top of this. They're just finding kills everywhere.
Strike as well. Mid, surely Dreamon. Yeah, he has the orb now. That's fine. But yeah, no, it's definitely a very bad scenario for the Nyx right now. It's very difficult. You can't really sit top for the Weaver, right? You can't really sit necessarily mid either. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit there and try.
Now, well, Nyx Assassin isn't here. They bring the Morphling in, but Ori has a full magic wand. He just pops it and says goodbye.
Oh. That sucks. If anything, probably the Nyx should have been sitting mid, I suppose. I mean,
yeah, I expected him to be the one DPing in, but it was the ganking Morphling now we're seeing. Who looks like he's just going to go into Lincoln Sphere. He's bought the Blightstone to farm jungle more efficiently. He's probably not aiming for, Solar Crest or Dessa or anything. It's just one of those kind of farming efficiency items with all his high agi. The minus armor does do him some good. I love this Invoker build though.
I love it as well.
Yeah. I've seen. Oh, is Dreamon dead? Cold Snap. Oh no, he's fine.
Nice dodge.
Good phase shift.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Let me just check if anyone's dying before I start talking again. Because every time I start talking, someone bloody dies.
Just start talking. I want to see more kills. Top lane, maybe?
No, I saw the tower die. I've been looking there every couple of seconds. Wait, is Paparazzi going for this? He's got no swarm. There's no real catch.
He only has 2 charges. If he had more charges, maybe.
Oh, on the old stick, yeah. What's he got? Yeah, you're right. So with Invoker builds, we've seen this kind of shift where, we saw the precedent of Aquila Invoker, where you start with a Wraithband, you go into Ring of Aquila, people skipping the Wraithband and just buying Bassi. Raindrops, when they got added in, key item for Invoker. Then the good old Null, then the double Null we started seeing from like Cuckoo on his Queen of Pain and Lina, then Invoker players started adopting that.
Bot lane, they're gonna go for a kill.
Kind of safe.
Keep rambling. I want to see a kill.
I'm watching Venom die, and I'm watching this Lich die as well. Batrider's gonna do something. Batrider's gonna kill.
Here's the lasso. Here's the lasso.
Void. Comes the pot. They've got nukes. They've got the damage, and they've got the kills. Two of them drop. Venomancer was the only casualty from the Radiant side.
Though, the clockwork.
He's trying to kill bot.
No more wait for him.
Morphling. He's trapped in the cogs, and with a meatball on his head, there's no escape. Down the bottom lane, what's happening? Puck chased in. The Swarmer's there, but Shikuchi not ready for Paparazzi.
Invoker dies.
He runs away. Invoker. Oh, the TP. Can he get away? Yes, he can. He's back to base. Nyx and Veno not able to capitalize there on the aggressiveness. And Lit. Oh, Sunstrike. He's got him. Oh my god, these plays are just ridiculous.
Adam is an absolute god. He turned level 6 with a kill into the Morphling, and he skills hookshot, immediately hookshots the Nyx assassin to make sure he doesn't get a hit right click onto Invoker, and I'm 100% sure it saved his life. It is absolutely madness. I don't know, it's not that big of a play in hindsight, but you know, it looked pretty sick.
But yeah, for a long time on Invoker, people would go like phase boots if they were losing their lane just to try and like balance out the odds with his awful attack damage. Now double null +1, very, very good, but initiation bot lane, the Dream Coil is there, and 11 will die again. Paparazzi has to Shikuchi away. The tier 1 has taken very little damage, and well, this Void has to stop playing so far forward, it feels like. Especially when he's not, creating space for someone else. Paparazzi has been TPing in to try and fight this.
And I think this comes a little bit back to what I mentioned during the draft. I feel like that the draft on the Radiant side is so much simpler to execute now. What are you going to do all game? You're just going to try and find kills with Puck and Batrider, You're just going to blink, lasso, and then blink, just drop Puck combo, and maybe get the kill into the Weaver here.
Lasso's up again?
Yeah.
Oh, baby!
They didn't use it for the last kill onto the Void. They killed him twice. The first time, yeah, they used lasso, but for the second time, they didn't even need it.
Oh, I find the Weaver. Weaver is, Dragonlance Diffusal, kind of as expected. Needed to tank up, needed the damage as well. So Lincoln's will be skipped for now, and then probably third item BKB, if you really feel that you're going to be struggling in this game. Oh man, Invoker has Ags in 500 gold. That's like a 15.5 minute Aghanim Scepter.
After double Nully.
Who's that Sunstrike on? Hello?
Really? Oh my god, he found it with a ward.
Dude,
he found it with a ward.
That's not fair. I'm looking around the map. I'm looking for dire heroes initiating on someone. I'm literally scrambling. Where is he? And he's freaking farming jungle.
I heard it, and it felt like it was gonna go to the Radiant base and check the Batrider, but he was full HP, so I don't know. But yeah, that was sick.
Who planted this ward actually? Who was this?
Can you still check?
Lanham. Yeah, you can. It was Lanham. I recognise the little at Steam picture he's got. Hook shot from him misses. Not normal. Lanham does miss out on that initiation. Paparazzi dying here. The nuke damage too big. In comes the Chrono though. 11 traps 2 in, but where's the Invoker? They've got to bring more damage output to the fight. The party's nothing without this Invoker, and Ori doesn't have mana really to accomplish anything, so he's just pushing tier 1 bot lane. That stun from Nyx barely catches the Lich. Okay. 5-man Dota, in we go, bring them down. Vici Gaming, what else have you got? Batrider's going to go in here with a lasso ready. Drags the Void, but he's cold snapped up, so it doesn't drag him too far. A little bit closer to the Venomancer, but Void waits out the Venom ulti and jumps away.
Bit awkward. You could definitely tell that the rest of the team wasn't really in sync there with the Batrider. Batrider, I'm sure, like, I still have lasso, but Puck's already retreating, Morphling's already retreating, Nyx doesn't have any mana anymore, so bit awkward, but overall it's still good for them. What, they killed the Lich, they killed the Weaver, they killed the no, they didn't get the kill, the Clockwork. So 2 kills for basically nothing, right?
Yeah, like 1.5k net worth swing there pretty much. Bringing the lead to 4,000 for Vici Gaming. Paparazzi once again playing aggressively on the bat. If they want to get this kill, Probably need a Sunstrike to come out from Ori and nearly lands, but Batrider was skirting the edge of that very, very closely.
Or Puck's coming in as well. They might just still go for it if Paparazzi sticks around. Which he... Oh, he might. He's turning around.
Nyx Assassin. You just go for the stun here. I don't think the Vendetta hit is
I
going
think
to
you want
accomplish
Blink,
anything.
Silence.
Yeah, you have to stun, Blink, Veil, Silence, all perfectly changed. And Avalon.
Even the ultimate. He even drops the ultimate.
You want him to die. You really want him to die. But he's got 6 stick charges plus time lapse.
I guess, yeah.
Without lasso, you.
I guess you don't want to risk it. Makes sense.
Especially at this stage of the game, right, where you've just come off the back of one big team fight win. Now you can start taking objectives. Tier 1 top is going to be where you head towards. That's something they struggled to do in the previous game. You know, they would find kills, but they wouldn't be able to take towers.
Yeah, and I mean, in general, even I think, you know, at some stage they also struggle to find the kills in general. And I think, again, this comes back to, this is a very simple way to execute the draft. You just blink in and kill people. Shot this.
How have you just hookshotted from there? No one expects that angle. He goes for the solo kill. He goes for the solo kill. Mid lane. Oh, Chrono in. Lich ulti doesn't bounce, though. The damage from the Mum Void should be clear cut to kill the Batrider, but they did lose the Invoker in the meantime, while top lane. Puck's being chased by Paparazzi. Phase shift. He's there for a little while longer. The swarm sticks on you. The Puck is going to dive. One more phase shift is not there. And Nyx Assassin hunting Paparazzi doesn't really have the mana to accomplish anything with this kind of HP pool. 8 1 charges. Paparazzi should be fine unless there's an extra TP to come in and try and deal with it.
No, that's gonna be another 20 seconds on the Batrider. Unlikely, but yeah, the Radiant just lost 4 heroes in the span of 30 seconds, pretty much. You know, kills all over the place on 3 different lanes. Very unfortunate for them, and this is something they can't really afford to happen, really. They cannot afford to lose, like, what, Puck solo to Weaver? That just should never happen.
I mean, Venno, like, it was kind of weird. Lanham was lurking around this area here, and I thought he was going to go mid because I saw them converging. Then he just hookshots Venno from this angle at the tier 2, catches him and solo kills him. Then there's a fight mid where there's, you know, all hell breaking loose. They're just people battling. But the Invoker already has Aghanim's bots. He has his items. He's ready to go. He's level 15.
This is a very strong Invoker. He's, what, 3k ahead in terms of net worth? To the next guy, almost 4k. Oof. That was rough.
And now it's smoke into smoke. The wraparound is long. The
it's
road...
a dead Venomancer.
It's too long. They've already lost one before they even get anywhere near, and if they want to fight now, they won't have their Venno with them. Clockwork is very low, and they'll go for the easy pickoff, it looks like. Instantly blown up. The lasso there. Catches out the Void. He's got Time Walk, but no Chrono. Big Green Bull is onto 2. Ori catches inside it, but the Chain Frost bouncing back in between them. Double kill from the Invoker.
Oh,
chase. Oh my god. Puck with the Swarm again. After losing your Venno, sure, he gets his ulti and a couple of spells off, but still fighting without your Morphling. 3v5. Vigi Gaming are going to outclass you every spell of the day.
Yeah, that was, once again, it felt like they were very disconnected. The Batrider initiating onto the Void after the Puck was sort of already out of the engagement. Like, he was almost retreating, and then the Batrider just jumps the Void, and a Void who had a Chronosphere. You're never gonna get that kill because you just blew all your spells onto the Clockwork. So, I don't know, it was a very weird decision to make, as you mentioned, especially because the Morphling wasn't even there, so they didn't even have any physical damage to speak of either, so... Yeah. This was, again, very disconnected, very unfortunate, and like you said, Vici Gaming, they're just going to punish all these mistakes, and now they have an Aegis on top of it.
And Morphling shifting away from that Lincoln Z-Blade. He had it queued up for a long time. Mask of Manus Diffusal BKB, looks like they are just going to go for this right-click morph. Try and get him as tanky and as punchy as possible.
Yeah, you definitely want it for the Morphling Chronospheres. I mean, there's a chance that the Weaver might not be in range for that anyway, and you just want to make sure that, you know, whoever is caught in the Chronosphere dies. Which... Are they gonna go for this? Looks like they're gonna wrap around for the Venomancer. It's just a Venomancer, though.
It's an easy kill. Very easy kill. And with the cogs, you're able to give it to the Invoker as well. Get that gold flowing in, get him his BKB.
And the rich become richer.
Yeah. this clockwork with the bottle, phase boost bottle.
So good.
Lamb.
It's so simple, but it's so good. Because they don't have a mid that needs any runes, he has total rune control all over the map. And he denies so many runes to the opposition as well. Puck, look at him. He's been running around with like a empty bottle for a while now. And just throughout the entire game, Clockwork's just stealing all the runes.
Taking full advantage. And all of a sudden they're knocking on your tier 3. Very reminiscent of the previous game where Vici Gaming suddenly flick that switch and they say, right, we're ready to go. We'll chip away, do a bit of damage. Aegis we've got on our Weaver who has Diffu and Dragonlance. And, you know, Skim, it's not often I get to do this, but I call the item build.
You did. And good call. I mean, I do think it makes sense in this game though.
Dude, it's like standard Chinese build. Dragonlance, Diffusal Blade, the BKB after, it's like all normal.
But even then, I still think it makes sense. I mean, yeah, you could go for the Lincolns, but at the same time, you know, if you don't go for it, you just wreck everybody else. And it's super difficult to kill Weaver in the first place because they need to stack all their spells correctly.
Well, Vici go for the tier 2 mid. A little bit of split push action attempted here, but Morphling gets the hell out of dodge. Nyx Assassin still hunting this Invoker, but of course he can launch out those long old Sunstrikes with a Chrono onto the puck.
Oh, the puck.
Perfect opportunity. Not going to throw just yet, holds onto it, phase shift is there, and they will miss out on the kill as this Lasso causing a bit of havoc. Paparazzi down to about half HP, but they'll find the Batrider. Time lapse is used, the hook shot misses. Lanham not judging or not gauging that waveform aggressively from the Morphling, pushes him out of the trajectory of the hook shot, and he won't latch onto anyone. Also interesting, the Sunstrike from Invoker waiting until kind of last second there to try and catch him. I don't know, before the phase shift or just after it ends, but either way, missing out on the puck kill is a big one.
Yep. And that's a good trade for the Radiant. Trading the Batrider for the Void, that's definitely good.
Maybe even a bit more. Good cogs. Lanham, has he really got out of this one? He's dodging, he's juking, he's jiving, but he's dead. Nyx Assassin also dropping low. Paparazzi has to get away. Keeps the Aegis intact. That's a 2-for-1 now. Suddenly in the hands of the Radiant. The question is, can they break tier 1 mid with that with the chain frost on it, with a frost armor on it? Imagine if Towers shot chain frost. How insane would that be?
That sounds like a good idea for like a custom map.
Chain frost tower. Don't go near the towers. That's pretty much what League of Legends is, right? If you go near towers, you die.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Paparazzi looking for a kill. I mean, he still has the Aegis. I think he might want to just go aggressive here.
Morphling doesn't have that much mana. 250. Yep.
And
a couple of Diffusal Blade hits.
His illusion just ran out. So now's the time.
There's a shrine though. Do they have any stuns? Where are your...
Oh, now he used... Come on, he used Massive Madness.
Oh dear. Sunstrike won't land. I shouldn't be able to get this kill. Waveform away and Morphlings perfectly happy.
I wonder, when is Vici Gaming gonna put the final nail in the coffin? I think if you're Vici Gaming, you might just actually want to wait until the Radiant overextend. I don't think you need to force the issue, really. I think they feel comfortable just farming, and then maybe, you know, wait for the next Aegis, or for the next mistake. Yeah. I don't really think they need to force anything.
Next Roshan, the initiation tool on Void, I was just looking to see what he was buying. That Shadow Blade, so he doesn't have the Time Walk in and Chrono, he can have Shadow Blade in, Chrono, Time Walk out, or Time Walk further forward aggressively to try and finish off any heroes he's caught. And now they smoke into the Nyx, but Nyx Assassin mistimes this. It looks like he has retreated. Oh, he holds the high ground here. Invis, there's the dust. Lasso onto Clockwork. They're going to nuke him down. That's a lot of spells expended onto Lanham. But the rest of them, Vici Gaming, now retreating. This could be a good Chrono. And it's perfect. Catches 3. The Chain Frost in, but the Sunstrike as well. Vici Gaming, are you going to clear up or are you going to back off? This is very tentative from them, realizing how difficult this fight could be. And Dreamclaw just used the Venom down as well, but Ori's BKB. Perfect from Vici Gaming, bring in the Invoker. He's ready to battle, but Void falls to the puck for the reinitiation. Dream On gets in there with an absolute nightmare for the Void. Morphling. Oh, the TP, the cancel, the cold snap. Oh,
on cooldown still.
Cooldown for another 6 seconds.
Oh, very unfortunate for them, but they still, you know, they got 2 kills. I think you kind of want more out of that. Oh, hook shot. He might get more.
Can you cogs him? Oh, no, you can't.
Yeah, I think if you're VG Gaming, you definitely want more out of that engagement. It started out so well with like a 3-man chrono, and then the Lich ultimate bouncing between all of them as well. But they just weren't in the best position. Ori wasn't in a great position for that chrono either. Couldn't follow it up immediately.
Yeah, if they had like Meteor EMP Blast there, they'd just get wiped.
It's a wipe for sure. EMP especially is so important against the Morphling.
I feel like it's been like a common theme this game where Ori has been a little bit off. I don't know if we just have high expectations or if there has been a bit of missynchronization with the Invoker and the rest of the team. You know, a couple of Sunstrikes have gone askew. He's not really been in position to team fight, but that may just be, you know, what he's been told to do in the team. He's been told to like split push farm until you feel strong, and we're still waiting for that moment where he's really, really ready to go. It looks like it's going to be the Lincolns after the BKB, where he's pretty much going to be, you know, this impregnable force. You can't catch him with Lincolns or Nyx or anything. It's going to be very difficult to catch the Invoker out. But this aggressive play from Avalon seems pretty nice until the scan.
I think his item build is pretty telling of what his position or his role in this team is going to be. He's like supposed to be the carry that is just going to, you know, farm until he's godlike pretty much. I mean, otherwise he would probably go for something like a blink, really. If you really wanted to, you know, fight with his team constantly, he would probably go for something like a blink because he wants a better position during Chronosphere, after Chronosphere, before Chronosphere. Oh, hook shot.
Did you see what happened there?
I did not. What happened?
So 11 is doing the classic 11 thing. He's running enemies, right? You know, he's used Mask of Mana, Shadowblade and Mom wear off, and he's looking at this Veno and he's thinking, I really want to kill this Venomancer. But he can't catch up. He can't get there in time. Lanham comes along and he says, get out of my way. And the Void doesn't get out of his way. So Lanham goes, get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to hookshot this guy. And then the Void doesn't get out of his way. He's still just running here chasing the Venom. So the Lich has to force staff the Void away from the Clockwork to hookshot. Because he's so slow from, like, you know, the Gale and all that stuff. Mid lane, big battle. VG Gaming have already killed off the Nyx Assassin. Clockwork was the trade. As the BKB from Ori saves him from a little bit there. Deafening Blast not going to land. That's a good blink from Puck to get back up onto the high ground. And away they go. Avalon full retreat. And they'll escape with a few bruises, a few cuts and scrapes here and there. But they'll be okay with a 1-for-1 trade at this point.
Yeah, these are some solid trades. I mean, if you look at the past, what, 5 minutes or so, the net worth disadvantage or the net worth advantage for VG Gaming has plateaued a little bit, and that's because Avalon are finding the necessary trades not only when it comes to team fights but also when it comes to farming. But can they contest this Roshan? That's the question.
When does the Morphling come online? BKB is 200 gold away. Roshan already gone. The Chrono is there. The cheese is dropped. The Aegis is picked up, and Batrider went for a cheeky play, but they'll lose one. It looks like they might lose two here as well. Batrider lassos the Void. Paparazzi absolutely rips him to shreds. Nyx Assassin with the dust onto Paparazzi. Time-lapse at the ready. Jumps back to his original position. And they'll just reset and kind of count their losses. Who got the cheese in the end, my dude? It was the Void. Void got it.
It was the Void. Yeah, it was the Void.
They get Roshan, they get cheese, they get Aegis. Nothing really lost. They'll come back with Chrono in a minute and a half. They'll start running down lanes. They might even go for a play right now. Hookshot in 20.
Yeah, this is something. Yeah, this is something they wouldn't expect. But at the same time, you know, again, Ori, the way he's played so far is not necessarily, oh, I'm gonna go with my team. We're just gonna try to find some kills. He's just farming, split pushing. So, just the Clock and the Weaver, I'm not sure they're really gonna go for a kill here. I mean, if they find something, if somebody's gonna walk up to them and present themselves on the silver platter, sure. But for now, I believe they will play it slow. Lincolns and BKB on a Void, on an Invoker. It's so defensive, but I know it makes sense in this game, but it's so defensive, man. Where's the blink?
He don't want
Where's
to die.
the hex? Yeah. I know. Hookshot top? Is this a silver platter?
That's a BKB.
Oh, that's a BKB. Is that a fresh charge?
That is a 10-second BKB charge.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. You don't want to use it like that.
Half of the duration was being used in the fountain while he's regenning up. Like, that's when you know that you had to BKB through desperation. Was when you've TP'd home and the glowing gold is still around your hero. You're like, yeah, not the best. But
that's my life now.
We'll deal with it as it comes. Puck is getting pretty farmed though.
yeah, did we talk about the Dagon?
It has just been...
No, he used it in the last fight already. He used it to kill the Lich. It's a great pickup. Lich is very squishy. Even Clockwork to a degree is sort of squishy. I mean, technically, you know, all these heroes, you know, just having additional burst is very nice here. Very, very good.
Yeah, if you can kill the Void during Waning Rift duration, you know, just stun him with a Nyx. Void is pretty susceptible just to getting blasted.
Nyx so much good
defensive items, but look at this. He got the information. They tried to go high ground, but they are chronoed and they are dying inside the cogs. The Nyx Assassin's found by the clock, but we're going to look at the bigger fight. Morphling battling here. Paparazzi rips his shreds. No more mana. The EMP, Ice Wall combo. Oh yeah, Ori, he knows what he's doing. He's an Invoker God. He's found the spells and he's clicked them on baddies. Bad
you know what? BKB was on cooldown for the Morphling during this fight. So he was still in the Chronosphere. He took a lot of damage, but I'm pretty sure if he has a BKB in this fight, BKB's waveforms TP's out.
Yeah.
100%.
Very likely. Well, that's what happens when you get caught.
Yeah. And Vici Gaming immediately they want to force this buyback. This, like the Venomancer pick in the last game potentially.
Nyx Assassin. I'm not sure this is where you want to be. Do they have any reveal? Okay.
Nope. I mean, these are the 3 cores. Of course they're not going to have any reveal.
Fine. Whatever. Oh, this Void very deep in, behind the racks, but these sentries are being placed religiously, almost, by the Venomancer. 1 every 10 paces. Try and spot the Void, the Weaver, anyone who's in Viz. Nyx is doing a bit of scouting. Oh, he gets the carapace on the Shikuchi and Weaver with a stun here. Can they chain it up? Puck, Dream Coil. No mana left for Paparazzi, but he just BKBs and starts waddling away. There's some really nice tread swapping there, but Lasso's on cooldown. 5 seconds time. The Chain Frost looking to slow things down. The Force Staff, not enough. Good play, attempted by the Lich, but he's found. Saving his teammate, he will fall as well.
That was some sick play from the Nyx Assassin. He didn't have any vision for that either. Because I thought for sure he had like a gem or something, but I mean, I guess, you know, he did have vision up until like the stairs or something, but still, it was some pretty good prediction play going for that Nyx Assassin stun, going for the Carapace stun.
Skim, you know what's annoying?
What?
Is when Fenrir and FY are on different teams.
Why is that now an issue?
Because it's still in my head.
Oh, yeah.
I still think of them as a support pair.
That's a duo.
As a duo, yeah. So I look at this and I'm like, oh yeah, Fenrir's on the Lich, and it must be Lanham on the Clockwork.
Yeah. Oh wait, did you say FY during like an engagement or like a
I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
I've been dodging the Lich's name because I'm scared that I'm going to. Like I haven't said Fenrir like the entire game. I don't think, apart from maybe at the start.
At the start, I think you did. Yeah.
Well, Void has a defensive item now, so he is going to be much more difficult to catch before he chronos. They have a gem? They do. So they've got the gem on the bat now. This is where things start to kick into gear. If they can find some picks and they don't wander off alone and get found. There's no gem, there's no reveal here from the Dire team, so the Nyx should have free reign to scout out Lanham. Not going to go for the kill there because they found a bigger target on the back. It's the Void. Chain stunned and killed. Couldn't even get his BKB off in time as Clockwork. Went for the hook shot onto someone. Don't know if it was dodged by the puck, but regardless. Chain, wait, hang on a second. Lich, Weaver, still going in. Shikuchi's there in time as he silenced Paparazzi by the skin of his teeth. Somehow evades the stun. Not going to land. Nyx, he had him in his sights, but he couldn't catch him. Now Lanham runs on forward. Dream Coil, not available. Has to all bound with cogs, but here's the combo in onto. That's a Morphling. That was a Morphling.
That was a Morphling.
That was a Morphling. Piggy turns into dust, absolutely incinerated by the Invoker, turned into bacon bits.
Look.
That was a Morphling.
I sound like a broken record at this point, but that was so disconnected. Puck, like Nyx Assassin goes invis, wants to run away. Puck walks in, blocks the Clockwork, makes sure he yields the Invoker, and then orbs out. And then the Morphling just waveforms in. He's like, oh yeah, sure, I can wave in, and then, you know, maybe I get out with my illusion. But that's some quick thinking on Ori's side with the instant hacks.
Oh, nice try, Lanham. Yeah, honestly, I'd say it was disjointed before that. The Nyx was like hunting aggressively, looking for something. The Batrider was like down here below the Ancients to begin with, and they had like, you know, the 2 cores up here. Then they regroup as the chrono test.
Yeah, there was a puck there, to be fair. There was, though. He TP'd out, or he blinked out in time.
Okay, this dire team needs a gem. Lanham, yes. Yes.
They do.
Yes, Lanham. That is the item you buy. Very good, very good.
See, this is one of those cases where I feel like if this was Vici Gaming versus, say, IG or LGD, I feel like they would have bought a gem a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they disrespect Avalon or they're like playing around or whatever, but I think Avalon is not applying enough pressure that it would warrant an early gem. I mean, they've missed out on a couple of kills because they didn't have a gem. Maybe they even lost or died once or twice because they didn't have a gem. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't necessarily feel like Avalon or the Nyx Assassin is just applying enough pressure to warrant a gem. I mean, now for sure, but you know, I think it was okay to not buy it up until now.
After the game's done, we're gonna look and see how many sentries were bought by the Clockwork and the Lich, because you can feel it, right? The Lich has Glimmer Cape, Force Staff, Tranquil, 600 gold saved up. Hasn't been spamming sentries and observers and all that nonsense everywhere, which usually against the Nyx Assassin you do to try and spot his rotation, to see where he's hunting, where he's gaining information. They just, like you said, they haven't felt that Nyx has got them anything more than a pick-off. Nyx has been there, they jump in, they kill someone, and then they run away. And Vici Gaming don't really care about that.
And it's... Oh, that's a dead Venomancer. That's a nice pick-off. Very deleted.
Did you need to do that?
He really didn't. I think it's just style points at this point. But yeah, coming back to the Nyx Assassin, I think part of the issue is that the Nyx Assassin by himself, he can't kill anybody, really. He can't really kill anybody, aside from maybe the Lich, but even that is very difficult because of Ice Armor. And the Glimmer Cape, and the Force Staff.
And the fact he's like level 20 or something,
yes.
level 18 Lich.
And he always needs support, so they essentially... Oh, that's a dead Nyx Assassin, isn't it? Ah, that's the gem. Gem paying off. Oh, no! Is he gonna get away?
He's dead, dude.
Force Staff? Force Staff?
There's literally no way he survives. Oh my god. Oh, they get the gem back. They didn't even need to buy one. They just had to kill the Nyx Assassin.
See, this is where a lot of it tells us, see it, we didn't need to buy a gem, it's telling you. No, the point I was making is the Nyx Assassin can't really kill anybody. He can't really kill anybody, and he needs like his teammates to help him, obviously. So essentially, you don't really need the invis detection as long as you just keep track of everybody else. Like if you know the Bad Rider's gone, all right, he's gonna be ganking. You don't need to see what the Nyx Assassin necessarily is.
So smart.
I'm just saying. I feel like Lanham is very justified in not buying a gem up until this point.
I think Invoker is ready, you know.
No, he doesn't have the Moonshard yet.
He doesn't have bots 2, you mean?
And the Moonshard.
Then he's really ready.
Then he's really ready.
And he sold his Midas for what the... Wait, did he sell his Midas or did he have it on Courier? No, he did actually sell it.
Sold it. For what, BOTs?
Blink.
Oh, Blink, right. Blink.
Well, Dream On, Puck has to play this little game. Cutting creep waves.
That's the 420 gold talent. He now can go for what? Dagon 5. Hex. Looks like it's gonna be Hex next.
Hex, Dagon 5, bots 2, then he starts buying moonshots for your team.
He knows.
They've known for a while. They know the Puck is still lurking around there.
Where's the scan? Where's the dire scan?
They don't care.
He can't kill him by himself anyway.
Ori, I think Ori can.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, he could. Wait, Puck doesn't have a Lincoln, so yeah, of course he can. For some reason, I thought he had a Lincoln's, but...
When you said that they can't kill him, I thought that as well. Like, wait, does Puck have Lincolns? And I had to check to make sure that it didn't.
I think I've just been watching Ori too much. Oh, that's a dead Puck, probably. Close here?
No. It's goodbye.
Yeah.
And this is why you can't gank a Puck like this.
Nope. They needed the hook shot to land. Or a Hex.
Anything apart from the Chrono.
Yeah. But honestly, oh, that's a dead Venomancer. This Puck has been keeping them in the game. He's been just doing a lot of, like, he's been creating a lot of space. He's getting a lot of very crucial kills in his team fights. I'm
So
not saying that the rest of the team is not doing anything, but I think that he's definitely standout performer for me in this game for
excuse me,
Avalon.
Skim, but Venomancer is alive.
Look, he looked very dead. I'm not sure why Invoker was so scared of a goddamn puck TPing him. Just saying.
Spooky.
There's
Oh, Dire Scan catches Bat, but there's a creep wave in the way. Or at least there's neutral creeps in the way of a hook shot that maybe Lanham was thinking about, but here's a sentry revealing the void. That's Aegis. You've just spent all of your spells on an Aegis BKB void who turns to fight you, and now you have to feel the wrath of VG Gaming. Morphling forced to try and retreat away, but has no HP left. A bit of mana remaining to get that Morphling going, but obliterated, taken out of the game by the Lich. Chain Frost bouncing back in. Sunstrike pops the Veno. One by one they fall. The puck will escape through nefarious means, jaunting around, looking for the escape, but the Hex is here. Ori again into battle, misses the meatball, but has a tornado to catch. Phase shift, very good there from the puck. Gone. Not killing him. It's him.
I like how Clockwork disconnected during that fight and nobody cared. They just kept on fighting.
Like, where's Lanham? He's mid-lane.
He disconnected during the middle of the fight. I'm sure his computer or whatever crashed like before he actually disconnected. So he's just been walking back to like the base. Yeah, very questionable decision to go for that kill. Oh, they still get the Aegis, I guess, with the tower hit. Very questionable. I guess at this point they felt desperate maybe, or they were like, oh yeah, that's maybe like a kill we can immediately get. But like you said, it was the Aegis, he has a BKB. They didn't even really commit to that kill either. So it was like a, oh yeah, let's drag him back and then we'll kill the rest of them, but they didn't really, so...
Yeah. It was pretty shoddy, honestly, the way they went in there. But like you said, desperation makes humans do weird things, as they will lose their lane of racks top. 2 lanes down, it's pretty much do or die at this point, but Vici Gaming have such a stranglehold on this game that even with the puck jumping in and nearly solo killing the void, he just eats the cheese and then Chrono straight back in its face. The Sunstrike there, Shrine not going to be able to save the puck, the buyback comes out. But it feels inevitable at this point that Vici Gaming will take the final lane of racks eventually. And then the game, but Radiant are all respawning. They're literally all TPing. Look at this! A rainbow of TPs comes forward. Morphling. That's very aggressive. Waveforms forward. Where's Lanham? Where's your hook shot? Right, let's go.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna reset with the Shrine and then they're gonna go back in. I think Vici Gaming's feeling it. I think they want this game to be over. Oh, GG's called. Alright. Unfortunately for Avalon, they don't move on. This is a single elimination bracket after all. I mean, it's a qualifier. No qualifier has a double elim. But I think Vici Gaming proved why they were the seeded team here. They definitely outclassed their opponents, but this was also only the first round of the qualifier for the Chinese, for the Chinese qualifier for ESL One Hamburg. They will be up against. Let me see. LGD. Oh, that's rough. That's a rough draw. I mean, no draw is going to be easy at this point, but still.
So yeah, Lich bought 15 sentries, 9 observer wards, but usually you'd see that value be like 1.5 or even 2 times higher against Nyx, because you have the sentry obs placements and you just dot sentries around. I mean, you've got the same amount of sentries as the Venom.
The Venomancer has the same amount of, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this doesn't really mean anything. If anything, yeah, I mean, yeah, this basically tells us, yeah.
They skipped a bit on the sentries.
Yeah, they didn't really feel the threat of the Nyx Assassin. And this is not even against the Nyx Assassin itself. I think this is partly because of, how the game developed as a whole, but also because, I think Lanham and what's his face, Paparazzi just played a very strong game in the mid game as well. We've talked about how Avalon emphasized vision in their draft, and to a degree, Vici Gaming did with their playstyle as well. Paparazzi farmed very aggressively, like a Weaver should, and he's always been in the enemy jungle. And Clockwork has just been all over the place and just creating a lot of vision with his rocket flare as well. So in a sense, they could always feel very safe on their heroes because they were so aggressive that they always knew where the opponents were.
Yeah, it was a difficult one, battling into Vici Gaming, but it's good showing from Avalon. Some new faces there, decent solid drafting, decent laning phase. Honestly, I kind of felt the continuation of the tilt from last game.
Yeah.
You could, yeah, it was palpable. You could feel it. They definitely did not come into game 2 with the same mindset they started game 1 with, but there's some silver linings. Always some.
Especially in the laning stage, you could tell that they it was very shaky. The beginning of the laning stage was so shaky, and they could have this could have been a much worse game. But you could definitely tell that they sort of got back into it a little bit. They got a lot of confidence from like little plays with a bad rider with a puck, and I think they did still very well in this mid game. And this was a game that I would have loved to see in the game one, right? Just having very straightforward Dota, just very simple, very like we just do A and then B and then C. But at the same time, it is a qualifier. Might as well try some things because if you're like an underrated team, you can maybe throw the opponent off with like a few things here or there, and maybe the Monkey King thing and the whole Venomancer thing is just. I mean, Venomancer definitely is a comfort pick of theirs, but maybe the Monkey King was as well, and it just didn't work out this time around.
So our next best of 3 is going to be Vici Gaming Thunder. So
Vici Gaming Thunder.
Sorry, yeah. See, okay, whatever, dude. Literally whatever. The subdivision of Vici Gaming that has the J in it for Jeremy Lin. Thunder, which is Sylar, Ghost, Yang, Fade, and AO. And this is the team that I was thinking about earlier, where they've got Sylar, and then the other 4 members of their team, if I remember correctly. Oh no, 3 members of the team. Yang came from the. I guess he came up as well, but yeah. Vici Gaming Potential, a couple of players from their kind of, I guess youth squad, and then Yang was Potential, Reborn, Vici Gaming, and back to Thunder. So they've all been within the Vici Gaming family. They've all been, kind of in the team house, out the team house, scrimming with each other. So they're all teams, they're all players within this team that are kind of well versed in what they're up to. Just got to see how they'll actually fare up against Team Serenity, who literally has 4 players I've never heard of. XXSJ is their support, their 5-role that was on Team Max, and he was, very solid, very good. Overall kind of shot calling drafter and support player for them. But we'll have to see. A couple of minutes, hopefully. I shouldn't say things like that. I'll find out from the Chinese admins when we're starting our next series, because I don't know. But Vici Thunder up against Serenity will be coming up soon. We'll hit you with some music, and we'll be back in a little bit.